Hi friends, I have another craft for you today. Today we're making another pumpkin. I love pumpkins, as you probably know. Look at this one. It is so cute. It is a textured pumpkin. Have a cool little stand that it's sitting in, but you can hang it up. It doesn't have to sit in a stand. It's actually made from one of these at Dollar Tree. This might not be the exact pumpkin, but they've got several of these out. And how I made the texture is from one of these. And this is also from Dollar Tree. This is in the automotive section, the car section, or the tool section. I think it was the car section. It is a self-adhesive wall tile, and it's made by Tool Bench, so over by the tools. And then these guys, this can be any kind of pumpkin. This happens to be that press board stuff, but it doesn't have to be. They make wood ones, really thin wood pumpkins, so you could use one of those. It doesn't matter. You can make this sign double-sided, which I did not do. But if you've got a stand like this, I wrote down the dimensions so I would not get it mixed up. This is 10 inches by 1.5 inch, and the groove is 1/2 centimeter. But you could fix up the back. I painted over a little bit, but this one says thankful. You could fix up the back and have a double-sided pumpkin, depending on where you're going to put it. You could even double-side texture. It's unlimited. You do whatever works best with your decor. So I'm going to get one of these. And this is 12 by 12. That's the size I need for this pumpkin. 12 by 12. So it just slides out like this. And it is self-adhesive, but here's a tricky part. The whole thing is not self-adhesive. It is only sticky on, it only connects to this front part on the edges. This white part is self-adhesive. It's sticky all the way around, but it only connects to the front tile part around the square edges. So that means we need to do one of two things, actually. It's no big deal. If you want to try to use the self-adhesive part, make sure that part of your pumpkin is on the edge. I used the bottom on this one. I used the bottom, I kept it connected, and then I traced and cut out the rest. And nothing else touched. That's what I'm going to do right now. So you just make sure something touches. I took a Sharpie, because this is plastic, and just go around with my Sharpie. And then I'm going to take a regular pair of scissors and cut it out. So this one has some extra embellishments, like it's got the leaf on it, so it's not a perfect pumpkin shape. It does not matter. It doesn't matter, because you are putting your own embellishments on. So if you have a preference, then by all means pick one that works best for you. But for the craft wise, it doesn't matter. So I just outlined it, taking regular scissors and cutting it out. So what I was saying about this self-adhesive part, this white part that we're going to have to peel off and attach anyway, it's only connected on the edges, and I don't need the edges, so I scooched my pumpkin all the way down to where it's on the edge on one side, and I'll show you what I'm talking about once I get this thing cut out. So I've done a couple of these, and you've got options. So one option is just forget about the whole self-adhesive part in the first place. The main thing we want is the tile. And they've got all kinds of options there. You don't have to just use this one. They've got stone and brick and but the main part of what you want to do is the texture. You want to make sure it's raised, that you can feel it. It's not just in the picture. Because we're going to give it a little rustic feel. And I did mine in cream and wax, antique wax. But you don't have to do that. Do your own colors, whatever you want to do. I have a friend who loves purple, and she plans on doing a lighter color, probably a cream as the base of the pumpkin. But then the extra part that I use the wax for, which I'll show you, she wants purple, of course, so that's awesome. All right, so we don't need this part. Now let me show you what I mean. This is the sticky part. See what I mean? This is sticky once we pull it off, but it's not attached to my tile anymore. So you could just forget about this altogether. Take it off because we're going to fill in the gaps with a glue gun anyway. So you can just forget about it altogether. So on this one, I used the adhesive. But on my second one that I'll be showing you, I did not. So it's whatever. So this is also made, it even says on the package that it's made to, you can take it off and move it. It's movable. If you stick it to where you don't want it, you know, it's not working. You can take it back off. So, and you can, because I did. All right, so I'm gonna use it this time and see how I like it. And if I don't like it, I'm gonna take it back off. Oops, let me tell you a secret before I stick it on there. One thing you might wanna do is paint the edge. Like whatever color you're gonna paint the base part of this, whatever that color is, paint the edge. What that does though is it spills over, at least mine did, spills over to the back. So you can do it with a small paintbrush if you don't want that to happen, just so you don't see the cardboard or the wood or whatever is on there. Just so you don't see that from the side. So I'm not gonna do that because that's not the part I'm showing you. I'm gonna try to put this on even, and if not, I'll just take it back off and glue it. So I am placing this on. Pressing it on, and that's it. See? That's it. It fits just fine. Now, if you know, when you trace, you are on the outside of your picture, right? So we were on the outside of this pumpkin. So I have a little spillover. Not a problem. One, if I'm gonna poke holes back in it and hang it up, no one's gonna see the back anyway, so it doesn't matter. Or what I did on this one is I took a case knife or an X-Acto knife, because you saw how easy this was to cut with scissors anyway. So once you get it basically the right size so you don't have a whole bunch off, you can either take scissors and trim up the edges, or you can take an X-Acto knife and go right around. Make sure you're on a surface that you can cut into, you know, like a cutting board, and then you just go all the way around. It works great. It looks really good. So then all you have to do now, see, I'm only stuck at the bottom. That's why I'm saying it doesn't matter either way. You can use that adhesive part or don't even worry about it, because we need to fix it with the glue gun. So you just take your glue gun and go around the edges and glue it on. So, hint, this is not, this is just, you know, thin plastic. So be careful with your fingers. But it glues on there great. You just put on a little bit, go around, put on a little bit. And I have glued straight to the sign, and I have glued, which I am currently doing, on that other white plastic part that has sticky on the back side. There's no difference. So whatever works best for you. So I'm just going around the edges and making sure this thing is on here nice. I just do a little at a time because my glue dries faster than I want it sometimes. So these come in different colors. If your theme is a silver color, that's what this is. Looks like metal. That'd be great. If you want traditional anything, orange or whatever, it's all up to you. Then press it down. So if you notice, I cut off the hanging rope, jute. So I've just covered the holes up, right, that was in. Not a problem. If you want to hang this back up just in your new style, I'm glued all the way around. Ta-da! Just take scissors even, will poke straight through there. Just poke from the back where you can see your holes already, and then just restring it back up. All right, helpful hint on painting. I used chalk paint because I like chalk paint, but you can also use just regular acrylic, whatever you want to use. But have you seen these cool little sponges? This works great. When I started painting this one, this first one, I don't even know if it's in the shot. When I started painting this one, I used a foam brush, but longer, and I just, and then really quick, I stopped and started tapping it, tap, 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 because it worked so much better. So all you have to do is, I didn't even pour it out. I just stuck my sponge in there and tap, 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 tap. Two coats. Took 2 coats. Tapped it on there, let it dry. I didn't even let it dry all the way because I'm impatient, but it didn't matter because tap, 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 tap. And it's fun. Ta-da. This is what it looks like. Isn't that pretty? And this is the sign I used for this one. So there's all kinds of them out there. All right. So, for sake of time, this one's already painted. And now, to make this distressed look that I love, 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 I'm using antique wax because I have it already. It's Waverly wax. It's antique. And this thing, I love this stuff. You put it on bare wood, you paint it on, and then you wipe it back off. Or sometimes you can use a baby wipe if you don't want to wipe it back off. Use like a baby wipe fabric, and it makes it look like you're staining whatever it is that you're painting, and I love that. But also it does a great little antiquing texture. So we are going to use a technique. We're going to use a technique called dry brush. So I am just lifting this up, and a bristly brush. You need a bristly brush, and you get some of this paint on your bristles. Oh, and by the way, any paint will do. It can be any kind of acrylic paint. It's fine. Now, I want to get some of that off so it's dryish on my brush. I don't need a lot. Then, I just take it, and I'm going one way, and then I'm going the other. And you do as much or as little as you want. I love this. It makes the texture pop out. It's gorgeous. Yeah, over here. It dries crazy fast so we can put our embellishments on. Isn't that pretty? Dry brush technique. Put on as much or as little as you want. And it grabs onto the texture part. It's beautiful. Didn't take much, but you can just pour it on a little plate, get it on your bristles, brush most of it off, wipe most of it off before you put it on your piece. Oh, that's pretty. Look at the difference. This one I've got darker and less. This one I have more and light. Oh my goodness, I don't know which one I like better, but they're awesome. Okay, time to embellish. You can do anything you want. You can make a bow. You can use raffia. You can use, which is what I'm going to use, raffia. Got these little leaves at the Dollar Tree. I love those too. They are actually crepe leaves. But I've also just greenery. If I had some greenery, I would probably do that. Lamb's ear, that'd be pretty. But any kind of greenery you can put on there. But I am going to make a twin-ish of the one I already made. So I'm going to stack my leaves. They were stuck together. I'm going to stack them with just a little touch of glue so they're in the position I want them to be. So put a little bit of glue. I'm going to stack it so that they're kind of overlappy. That's what I did there. Remember, super thin. Careful, careful with that hot glue. I have burned myself more times than I can count. But it's worth it. All right, so I've attached them together so they look how I want them to look. Which side am I going to put this bow on? I'm just grabbing some raffia, dead hay kind of stuff. I'm going to put a couple of strands together and just tie a simple bow. However much of this you want. You can get this anywhere. Oops. Comes in big strands. This is probably enough. I am going to double mine over. So I don't need it as long. Then I'm going to just tie a bow. Now I tied the bow not in itself, but around the stem. I like that. I like how that worked. So I'm gonna try that again. See if this is long enough. Maybe so, maybe no. Trying to get my ends kind of even. And then I tie my bows upside down. I need my strings to kind of go down, and for some reason every time I tie a bow my strings go up. So I'm gonna flip my work upside down. At least it worked last time. Let's see if it works this time. Make a bow and see if it goes where I want it to go. Because I never know. There is a science behind this that I am not aware of. But there is a certain over-under thing you can do. I'm sure Google would help us figure that out. Nope, guess what? I'm upside down. Let's try it this way. And I didn't cut my ends. Didn't cut my ends. And let's try this again. That's on that side. You could also just take, you could just tie the bow separate from your piece and then just glue it on. There we go. Now I'm liking it. Let's see. I got it. I don't know if you can see it or not so well, but I need some color to help pop. So, oh, I like that. Let's see, I got it off to the side. This one's more of a straight pumpkin, but I think I'm gonna go to the side just a smidge. And then I'm gonna place my leaves where I want them under, just to get a visual of where I want that. I like it. Then I'm gonna lift up my knot. Place a little dab of glue, put my leaves on it, and then place my knot over it and press down. So that way my knot doesn't spin, my leaves are attached, but the stems are hiding under the center of my bow. Fix my little stragglies. You know, I love jute. This would look really pretty with jute. I thought about wrapping the stem with jute and then using maybe the raffia for a bow. That would be really pretty too. All right, are you gonna stay there? Fluff my edges. And there we have it. That's it. So I can poke holes in it, I can hang it up, I can make one of these stands and stand it up. I could double side it if I want. Possibilities are endless. And there you have it. This is how I make a textured pumpkin. I hope you give it a try. And thanks for joining me. And we'll see you next time. Bye.